Welcome back to the restaurant show. If you're a chocolate lover, and I know lots of you are, I am myself, we have the segment for you because that's what we're talking about. It's all chocolate. I'm joined by Dan Donahue, the owner of the Chocolate Caper. They're on Main Street in Oregon. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Happy to be back.
So I'm excited about this because I feel like this is a little science experiment that we're going to do here.
It is a bit. It is a bit.
So what we're making now is chocolate chantilly. Am I saying that right?
You are.
Okay.
Chocolate chantilly.
Okay. So what is that?
It is basically just chocolate and water mixed together with a little bit of sugar, and you do it in such a way that it turns into a chocolate mousse.
Okay. And now my understanding of a mousse is that it's dairy-based, but you're saying that we can do it with water.
Right. This is a dairy-free, gluten-free version that uses some sort of scientific principles of chocolate to create a mousse without having to have the whipped cream and the other things that give mousse its airiness.
You're busting all of my myths today because I also thought that you couldn't mix chocolate and water.
That is generally true in our chocolate shop. It is a big no to do anything with chocolate and water.
Okay.
If you're melting it, it can cause it to seize. If you're doing any variety of things, it can cause the chocolate to do lots of things you don't want it to do.
Okay.
This recipe is the exception.
Oh my gosh, it's like I before E except after C. There's all these rules, but
Yes.
you know them. Don't worry, they've got the rules down. And you're gonna show us how we can cook with chocolate. We can actually combine them with water.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do it. So
All right.
what's the chocolate that you use, and do you need to use a certain kind?
What you do, we're using guitar chocolate. The brand does not matter. This is what we use in our shop. You want to use any high quality chocolate. Since it is just water and chocolate, the flavor is coming entirely from the chocolate.
Sure, okay.
So if you use chocolate chips or something that's a little bit lower quality, you're going to taste that in the final product.
More intensely. All right. So if you skimp, we're going to know about it.
Yep,
right?
and then you also need to use at least a 70%, the recommendation is at least a 70% cacao content. This is 65%.
Okay.
I found that anything over 60% works.
Okay.
But milk chocolate and things like that will not work because they don't have enough fat in them.
I see. Okay, so the fat content really matters.
Yes.
All right, and look at that knife that you're using. You really gotta, is the kind of cut, does that matter? Like the way that you're sort of slicing it pretty thin?
No, you just want a coarse chop on it.
Okay, so it doesn't actually need to be too thin. Okay.
Just to make it easier to melt.
I see, all right, okay, so the melting, all right. So what are we gonna do next?
So once you've got your chocolate cut up, you're gonna be, ahead of time you wanna boil 1 cup of water.
So Dan did that before we started because we didn't think you'd wanna watch the water boil.
But yeah, we spent a lot of time watching it boil.
Yeah, we did, yes, we enjoyed it, great.
And as soon as it's boiling, you're gonna add 4 tablespoons of sugar, 2 to 4 tablespoons of sugar, depending on your preference.
So there's essentially 3 ingredients, chocolate, sugar, and water.
You got it. Okay. And all we're doing with the sugar in the water is making a simple syrup, just dissolving the sugar into the water.
Can you tip that just like slightly? So
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, it dissolves right in there. Perfect.
Yep.
Got it.
And then as soon as that's ready to go, and you can add the sugar when you start boiling the water too. It doesn't matter where in the process you add the sugar.
All right, so it's not an exact timing.
Nope, you just want it in there before you add the sugar.
Proof. I maybe even could do this.
So then I have some chocolate that I already cut up. So we're adding 10 ounces of chocolate to the water.
10 ounces of chocolate. Okay, got it.
To the 1 cup of water. And I do really like these flexible cutting boards because you can just...
That's perfect. Yes.
Dump it right in.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Now this is going to be just the basics, right? So chocolate, water, sugar, but can you add other flavors, like if you wanted it to taste a certain way?
You can substitute orange juice for the water or for some of the water and make an orange flavor to it. You can put in a tablespoon of Bailey's Irish Cream or Grand Marnier or
caught my attention.
Chambord to give it some fruit flavors, some alcohol into it. You can mix in sort of any liquid you want and substitute for the water. You still need to have a fair amount of water in there, but you can substitute a couple tablespoons of whatever you'd like into it.
So you can add a little something, get a little flavoring going. So I can see lots of different options coming to mind, as I'm sure have come to your mind over the years.
Oh yes, we've done this a variety of different ways.
Okay, so now, if you can't see this at home because it's kind of hidden, we've got this in a bowl of ice water.
Yep, this is an ice bath. So we have a bowl that's just got ice and water in it, and then another dry bowl sitting right on top of that.
All right.
We set that up right at the beginning so the bowl gets nice and cool. And all we're going to do is take the chocolate that's completely melted now with the water and pour it right into that bowl.
Oh my gosh. If you love chocolate, you're probably loving this visual right now. Chocolate just being poured into a bowl. Delicious. Okay, so chocolate, water, sugar. That's it. Boiled, stirred, and now it's in an ice bath.
Yep.
So
and the trick here is to whisk it basically as quick as you can.
Okay.
And you're going to be whisking for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay, so you whisk away, and then what happens after a few minutes?
So this is going to start to firm up. What's happening is water and chocolate are hydrophobic, so they repel each other. What we're doing is, by whisking it, is giving a standard structure to the fat molecules that the water can fit into, and then it's basically going to repel the chocolate from itself, creating the airy texture. So you've got two chocolate molecules with the water in between them, kind of pushing them apart to make it nice and fluffy.
So not only is it delicious, but it's also a learning experience.
But it is.
So for maybe a fun thing to do with kids at home too.
Yeah, if you have kids in grade school, this is when they're learning about hydrophobic and hydrophilic bonds and all that fun stuff.
This is part of the
This
deal.
is a good way to do it.
This is the delicious science experiments that you can do at home.
And it's very forgiving as well. If I over whisk this, what'll happen is this is going to start to get more and more solid. And if I over whisk it, I can just dump it back into the pot, remelt it, start again.
Oh, so it's goof-proof in a lot of ways. We only have about less than a minute left, so I want to make sure we show off what can happen.
So after about, and you can use a hand mixer to do that if you need to. If your hands can't, if you don't want to whisk it by hand, you can use a hand mixer.
Oh, okay.
But you'll end up with this.
So this is what happens. Now you said 3 to 5 minutes?
Yep, 3 to 5 minutes. It'll, right when it becomes the consistency of a
chocolate. Can I try it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it matter what
I've got
spoon?
a bowl that you can try.
Oh, good. Okay, we have a pretty one. Look how cute. So I was asking about this before we started. This is chocolate mousse, right? Basically, chocolate chantilly.
Yes.
I'm going to make sure I get it right. In a chocolate dish.
Yep.
Can I use this spoon? Does that
absolutely.
work? Well, I gotta go because I'm gonna finish this off while we're on commercial break. But really quick before we go, the chocolate caper, fabulous chocolates of all kind, obviously. Really, really good chocolate. They're in Oregon. Folks can order online and give you guys a call too if you want to do that, correct?
Absolutely.
Well, make sure and do that because they have fabulous chocolate. All right, we gotta go. We're gonna be back with more Restaurant Show. I'm gonna finish my dessert. I'm making a mess, but we'll be right back after the break.